Okay, welcome back. We're going to continue with another tutorial here in Ableton. Just going to add to the last tutorial, which was the Ableton Live for beginners, or beginners beats for beginners too, right? So let's see, let's just recap what we had before. Let me turn this off here. And let's just play what we had before. Okay, so if you remember, we just had the beats here: kick, snare, hat, and a perk, some percussion here. Okay, so that's what we got so far. So in today's tutorial, we're going to be adding a sub bass, or bass, whatever you want to call it, right? And also a lead and another kind of little loop here. Okay, so let's get started first with the bass. Now, as you can see, I have a bass I've already made here, and also one I made using Ableton. So let me add these two basses and let you listen to it now. Okay, that's with everything, and let's just solo this out. And you can hear these basses here. Oh, it's just a basic pattern. It's a bass I like to use in a lot of my songs. So, all right, let's figure out how we made it. Okay, so first, go in the sub bass here. Now, the way I made this bass is by using a sampler, right? And you can find the sampler here in the instruments, right? Ableton's instrument rack here. Yeah, sampler. So you would just bring that down. Here, I'll go ahead and make it for you. Let me insert a MIDI track. Move it over. Okay, so I'm just going to recreate this one here. Okay. So what you would do was take the sampler here. Where is that? Here it is. Drag it down. Boom. Okay, and also you want to use one of your samples. So go and find a sample you like. Let's see here. Let's look under here. See what we got. I'm looking for just a straight. Cut that off. Okay, so we have our bass here, and this is going to play this note here. I can actually move it over because it ends right there anyway. Just move it over. And then what we're going to do is make our pattern. So this is actually in the root of C. I want to put this in A. So let me put this in A. Alright, so you want to double click here. Actually, we don't need this record on because I'm just going to write it in the piano roll. Double click here. So, no, actually, I don't want it in A. I want it in E. Let me put it in E because my kick's in E. So here we go. We go back to the pattern. Here's the piano roll. So I'm going to check for E here. I'm just going to draw a basic pattern here. Like I said before, I like to use a lot in my song. So let's just take a listen to it now. Solo that. that's the same pattern we have basically on this. It's a different sample, but we're going to add some stuff here to change the sound. Okay, first thing I want to add is a saturator. So go down here. Here's your saturator. Actually, I'm going to use the preset here, warm up lows. Okay. All right, so let's take a listen to it now and see what it sounds like. Okay, I want to change this to a soft sine. Okay, there we go. And next thing we're going to add is an EQ8. All right, so there we go. And I like to keep the bass down here in the maybe like 50 or 60 hertz range to about the 200 range. So what I'm going to do first is click this one, put on this filter here, and take this down to 50. I'll just type it in 50.0. There we go. And click on the 4. I'm going to put the filter on there and start moving this back. Right. So I'll let you listen to it and see what it sounds like. Take the volume down on this. Alright, so let's take this down. I want to take out the kind of those high noises. Keep this low. Okay, like I said, I like to keep mine around 200 hertz there. Alright, so there's the bass note. Okay, next thing we're going to do is add a compressor. So let's take the compressor in and drag it over here. Okay, now it's a lot lower there because this is way down and this is at -10, put that at 0. Okay, so I want to move this down here and until I start seeing some compression here. What I want to do is take it down to about between 12 and 14. This is the sound of it here. It's about 20, it's okay. -20. That's fine for what I'm doing. Okay, and also this bass here, we're going to sidechain this with the kick. Alright, so let me click this, and here you can see the sidechain section here. And the audio is going to be from the sidechain kick as we have made here. But actually you can see it's turned off because we don't want the audio coming from this. We just want it to affect whatever is being sidechained. So in this case it would be the bass. So let's take a listen to it now when we do this. Right, so you can hear the difference, yeah? Okay, so we need a little volume here. Alright, you can do it this way. You can do it on the output here. You can increase the volume over here somewhere. I'm just going to do it with the volume here. I'm going to move it up to about 12. I have my kick and my bass around the same. Alright, there we go. So let's take a listen to all of it together now and see what it sounds like. Okay, sounds pretty good. So let's stop this, and I'll go ahead and switch back to the other sub bass I made, but that's generally how you do it, just using a sample. Okay, so I'll go ahead and delete this one since we know how to do it now, and go back to my original sub bass here. Now this is the one I made with the sample, so we're going to add another sub bass onto the top of that, and we'll do a little different range here. So I'm going to do the same thing with this one. Now this is one of Ableton's built-in basses. So if we go back up here and look under our, where's it at? Synth bass. This will be under the instrument rack here. Synth bass. Right here, I used the, actually I wanted that really deep bass, so I used the right here, bass hip hop sub, right? And I'll show you how to make that again. So let me just put the MIDI track in here, move it over. Okay, so this is basically this one, right? So let's turn this one on, solo it to play it for you, right? So it's a little bit lower, lower frequency. Okay, stop it. All right, this is how you make it. All you got to do is drag that in, hip hop sub, over here. There it is. And I want this to be the same pattern as this, right? So you see this pattern here is the E, 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 G sharp, yeah? So all I have to do is just copy this and then paste it over here. And there we go. Now I've got it, right? Okay, should be the same. Let's listen. Alright, now you can see that's a lot louder than what I have in the song. So what do? Same thing again. Let's go in here, click on this, click here. I'm going to add the, what is it? First, I'm going to add a saturator again. This time I'll do it a little bit different, right? This time I'm going to do the soft sine the same way. This time I'm going to put the soft clip on this one here. Let's take a listen to it. Alright, I've got that nice hip hop bass going there. Okay. Alright, and then again we're going to take our EQ8, and actually if you want to do this a quicker way, just go back to the sub bass and copy. Right, I'm going to go ahead and copy the EQ8 and the compressor and then paste those onto the hip hop bass. Alright, so go down here and just click paste, and bam, there we go. But like I said, I want to change the frequency just a little bit because I want this sub bass to have its space and also the hip hop bass. So I want to move this one up here. I had the other one on the 50. I want to move this one up to 60. Okay, so let's take a listen to these two sounds now. Alright, well, as you can tell, the hip hop bass is a little bit too high here, actually, so we need to move this down. Okay, so that's basically the noise that we have coming through with these two I already made. And that's how you make it. So let's stop this. Let me delete this one we just made and go back to the original and see what we got. Alright, there we go. That's what I'm going with. I want that low, deep bass. Alright. Now moving on, let's go to the lead right here. Put this in, take a listen to the lead. Alright, so it has that kind of side chain effect, but actually I don't have it on the first beat, I just have it on the off beat here. So you can see this is just a simple pattern. E here, here on thirds, right? Okay, now how did I make this? Very simple. I actually use one of Ableton's presets again, so let's put this in. Move it over, MIDI, and let's go back up to the instruments. And you can see here you have some synth lead folder right here. Yeah. So open it up, and actually the one I used was the classic movie right here. So take this and drag it over here. There you go. So then we're going to make our pattern. So double click this, and it was an E pattern like I said before. So click that in. Let's take a listen to this. Okay, so it sounds pretty similar there. Alright, so actually you can go in here and mess around with these macros. I actually moved, what did I do? I actually moved the old movie sound up a little bit here. And you can also put a little crackle, a little vinyl crackle or bad tape sound in there. So let's take a listen to that and mess with some of this. So you might want to use this bad tape sound here just to give your song a little more filler, those filler noises to fill up the empty noise you have in your track. Might work, but you may want to turn it off because it will continue to play after you stop it, right? Okay, so for this I'm not going to use that, but you can mess around with this stuff with filter here. And this would be useful when you're putting your song together. If you want to bring this sound in, you know, right? Bring it down slow. That's how we make the lead. So let's stop this, and as you can see on the lead, I'll go ahead and delete this one. Go back to the original. Okay, so I haven't added anything to this yet, so let's go in. The only thing I'm going to add this time is the EQ8 first. I want to get the sounds out, so let me play this one, solo this, and I'll mess around with it here. You can check it out and see what I'm doing here. We always want to do this, yeah. Let's move this up until we hear something changing. Okay, we hear it changing around this area, right? Sounds pretty good there, about 300 hertz. Okay, we may need to give it a little more volume, so first let's put a compressor on here. Right, let's move this back up to R0. Okay, so we want to just compress it a little bit here. Alright, now we see it working here. I want it about 18. Negative 18. Okay, as we can see here, our volume here is a little bit over 18. Let me move it down just a little bit, because I want it hitting around the 18 mark there. Okay, that's pretty good. That gives us a little room. Okay, so let's hear what we have all together with the bass and this lead going. Okay, so that's what we got. Alright, and I just one more thing I added was just a little hat and clap part. It's just a sample. I brought it in out of is one of the Vengeance samples under, what is it under? I have no idea. Under the somewhere. One of the percussion loops somewhere anyway. But if you need these, let me see what it is. It is the house loop, right? There it is right there. This house loop. Let's take a listen. Okay, so I just like that hat pattern and the clap. So actually what I did, I didn't even mess with the volume in here or anything. I just left it the same and put on the EQ8 here. I got it from about 600 hertz here up to 1800 kilohertz. And I put a compressor on it here, is about -14. And this is what it sounds like soloed. Alright, this is what it sounds like with everything. Okay, so that's going to be it for today, folks. So, yeah, add your basses and leads and stuff, and next time we will keep progressing on this tutorial. Okay, so have a good one.